Whatever was going on. After the last election, I was sued in court for malpractice and many other things. And that court case took some time. And when you are in court, I think it is the hardest time that I have ever had in my life. It's very expensive. It's a very expensive venture. You go to a lawyer, the first lawyer will tell you I want 100 million, and yet you cannot use one lawyer. And you don't have resources at that particular time because you are just from an election. So it was quite hard. And okay. I tried my level best to see that I find ways of looking for monies to make sure that I settle my case in court. I was taken to different levels. We first had an application, and thank God we won it. Then they brought the main suit. I won it. Then again they took me to the Court of Appeal. I also won it by the grace of God. But it took a lapse of about 2 years. And that time was not quite easy. And I could not appear in the public because of the stress that I was going through, especially financially, to fund the court case. After that, I lost my dad. And my father was very instrumental in my political career. He was my campaign manager around Iteso and Lagosel. It was such a big blow, but with the time, I caught up, and in the process, my late husband was also sick. We were in and out of the hospital for a very long while. While Nairobi, while Mulago, while Platinum, every other time they say we go this way, we go that way. And during that time, it was quite hectic and very stressful that I had to take care of my late husband. It took a while, but after some time, he went back to be with the Lord. And from the time he passed on, it has not been easy. It has been very tough. Very tough. But all in all, God has been on my side. He has been very merciful. And there were a number of issues here and there, which I will not mention. But still, though others are still pending, I know I'll go over it as time goes on. Now, with such circumstances, I couldn't be expected to be in the masses, within the masses, as others were moving. And the shock that I got is while I was going through that tough time, people were here telling people that, she cannot come. Why? People knew my husband was very instrumental in my political career. Yes, that is true, but God uses people. And when the time is up, God can still remain there to support people. Otherwise, women who give birth to children and eventually pass on, those kids also grow up. So I put myself in such a situation. I said, yes, he has been very instrumental. It's very painful. Indeed, I've never had pain like when I lost my husband. I am only recollecting myself to catch up with the world, but it has been such a big blow. However, life has to continue. I am a mother with a number of adults. Many of them are still looking for jobs. With the grace of God, others are trying to get jobs, and others are still in school. And I do it single-handedly as a mother. I do it single-handedly as a mother. I think when I say that, you will understand it. I don't have any external help from anywhere, but as a mother. And just because God blessed me sustain the number of children that I'm sustaining. And given those circumstances, I've been praying to God to give me that strength to see that I'm able to get back to public. And I thank God. I've had a few public appearances, and people have been asking, hey, are you back? I told them that I'd not gone anywhere. I've just been going through situations, but I am still around. However, I feel that what the challenges that I've gone through have energized me. They have sharpened me, that I feel that I can face any challenge that comes ahead of me, especially politically. People will ask, why haven't I come in the NRM primaries? You are all aware that I had a lot of challenges in the past election in NRM primaries, and right now I do not trust the system. And I'm speaking it with a lot of authority. I do not trust the NRM system of election in Mbale City. I don't know about other places, but within Mbale City, where it was evident that I won in 90% of the polling stations, I could not be declared. It took almost up to a month for me to hear the results. And the results were not declared in Mbale City. I think they are the only results in the country that were declared outside the area of election. I only had the results on TV, 10 o'clock in the night. I saw them being released, and it was in the favor of the other candidate whom I had stood with. And given that experience, even when I had gone to appeal at the NRM Secretariat, that's where I found my opponent camping there. She pitch camped there, requesting that they should declare her. And indeed, after some time she was declared. Because she has a name up there in the government, I couldn't do otherwise. But I opted to come as an independent because my electorate requested me to do so, and I was very confident I had won. And I want to thank God for my electorate who still put trust in me and elected me, and this is the term that I am running. So it is very difficult for me to get back into the NRM primaries where I was tortured, I was battered. It was telecast all over the country when I was being beaten, and being beaten by men, not by women, policemen. It was telecast all over the country. Tear gassed. Just because of NRM primaries, I was demanding for my results. So God is still with us, and I am coming as independent. Now this was information for you as journalists, because many of you could have not maybe had the side of my tangible things. I have a university, I have schools, which I have lobbied for single-handedly, and I have come to Bali. So this business of wanting to know what I've done, let's have a press conference, and we'll have a thorough review of what I have done. I can get back to that same mess, yet with the same opponent, among others. And therefore, I have a reason. Even then, I reported it in the NRM caucus, and I was very open. I told them I'm not getting back to primaries because I was brutally handled by my party. And I have a reason not to get back to primaries, not as a rebel, but as a peaceful Ugandan. And therefore, I opted to come as an independent. And that's the reason. I've been quiet all along. When you put challenges with what I went through, I couldn't now speak much. I was only waiting for an opportune time for me to come back and tell the nation to tell my people in Bali that I am still around. Yes, the person who supported me most is not with us, but God is still with us. And I have, you know, I don't know that in Africa or elsewhere, people take advantage of people's problems. When I was so much in problems, more especially when my husband died, everybody said, "Kati awedde." Manager was sente, doctor yabadde amutekamu sente, tagenda kusobola. But you forget that God is still present. Yes, He did. And that is their basis. That I cannot manage because Dr. Galiwago is no more. But God uses people at particular seasons. Yes, God used my husband during that particular season. Comes, kneels down and greets you, comes with the journal, they take a picture, and say she has blessed me. People came to greet me. And I appreciate, they came and greeted me. They have people who take pictures around, and they put on social media and say, but is it me who chooses succession? Is it me who chooses and say that now, even in hidden, I should announce it to the people of Mali, if at all. But I'm saying, I'm very clear that people took advantage of my problems. They say she's finished. But I want to show to them that God even supports the vulnerable more than anybody else. Amen. That I've been very weak, I've been mourning, I've been crushed because of the expenses in the court. They know now I cannot stand. But I have had people who have supported me. Even just by seeing my picture alone, they support us and oh no. But they have never seen me. They have never even drank a bottle of water, but they have always supported me. And the God who used them during that time is still alive. And I know that that misconception of my problems into people's joy has to be condemned in the strongest terms possible. And I want to condemn everybody who has taken advantage. People have been calling me, and I am the manifesto of all the candidates. I am their manifesto. Whoever gets on the pulpit can now Connie. I mean, I have a lot to do for Mbali.